We signed this agreement, an agreement that respects the sovereignty of Paraguay. But it also creates the opportunity to work even more closely together to face this threat.
In a high-impact operation, Paraguayan security forces managed to capture one of the leaders of the PCC, who operated in Minas Gerais and was hiding just 4 blocks from the border with Brazil. On the run since 2019, the drug trafficker was arrested in a joint operation that included the participation of the Brazilian Federal Police and the Civil Police of Minas Gerais, demonstrating the strength of international cooperation against organized crime. The advance of Paraguayan troops against Brazilian factions in the border region has received direct support from the United States through the Southern Command as part of the Shield of the Americas offensive. This operation aims to weaken the structures of cartels throughout the continent, and with the arrest of another PCC leader, Paraguay reinforces its determination to combat criminal networks that threaten regional security, sending a clear message that the fight against drug trafficking is just beginning. Welcome to Vida No Cuartel. In a joint operation, which included aerial surveillance and field agents, the Paraguayan security forces received information from the Brazilian Federal Police and the Civil Police of Minas Gerais about the movements of a PCC drug trafficker who terrorized the metropolitan region of Belo Horizonte and was now on Paraguayan soil. With confirmation that the target was in a residence just 4 blocks from the Brazilian border, in the city of Pedro Juan Caballero, a strategy was set up to prevent any attempt to escape or resist. Agents from the Minas Gerais Civil Police also took part directly in the capture operation, which was carried out successfully and without the need for gunfire. The target, 33 years old, was considered one of the PCC's operatives in Brazil and was a rapper, known by the stage name MC Thug Hood. In addition to running drug trafficking in the capital of Minas Gerais, he has convictions totaling more than 50 years in prison.
On social media, the criminal presents himself as an MC. He uses trap music to communicate and attract followers with lyrics that glorify crime.
The capture of this criminal leader represents a significant blow to the structure of the faction and shows the importance of international cooperation in the fight against drug trafficking. After signing the participation agreement in the Shield of the Americas, Paraguay began to receive direct support from the United States Southern Command, which has provided not only intelligence data, but also cutting-edge technology, modern weaponry, aircraft, and armored vehicles. This partnership has enhanced the operational capacity of the Paraguayan forces, allowing them to act in a more coordinated and effective way against criminal factions operating on the border. The blockade along the border with Brazil became even stronger with the establishment of an FBI base, which took on the responsibility of training Paraguayan intelligence agents in advanced techniques of data analysis, infiltration, and extraction. This support ensures that operations are more precise and reduce the risk of failures, gradually undermining the structures of the cartels operating in the region. While the current Brazilian government remains inert in the face of the continental fight against the cartels, led by the Trump administration, the countries allied with the United States and the Shield of the Americas have shown significant results. The arrests of criminal leaders, the destruction of logistical and trafficking structures, and high-impact operations, such as the bombing on the border between Ecuador and Colombia, demonstrate the strength of this coalition. The starting point was the fall of the former dictator Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela, and since then, the offensive against narco-terrorists has continued to advance in different territories. However, Brazil chose to form a restricted coalition only with Colombia, which so far has not produced concrete results.
A city at war. Rio de Janeiro is experiencing an uncontrollable struggle for control over areas considered strategic by organized crime. The state is fighting to take these territories out of the hands of criminals.
This limited stance contrasts with the continental mobilization, leaving the country on the sidelines of joint actions that have weakened cartels in various regions of the Americas. The absence of a firm policy against drug trafficking and the decision not to classify these factions as narco-terrorists make Brazil an attractive haven for criminals from other countries. Upon noticing lighter punishments and less institutional pressure, leaders of criminal organizations find a favorable environment to establish themselves in Brazil, increasing internal risks and weakening national security. This action by the Paraguayan forces, together with the federal police and the civil police of Minas Gerais, shows that the Brazilian forces are willing to act against organized crime. But for this to happen effectively, legal backing, institutional support, and a firm decision from the federal government are necessary. While Paraguay has already started an internal cleanup process with visible results, Brazil remains in a holding pattern. And the big question that remains is when there will be an awakening to concretely confront the factions that threaten national security. Leave your opinion here in the comments about why Brazil has not joined the Shield of the Americas. Here at Vida No Quartel, you stay up to date with everything happening in the military world. Leave your like, subscribe, and watch one of the videos appearing on your screen. Forward fighters, see you next time.